The time has come, the walrus said, to talk of many things, of shoes and ships and sealing wax and curriculum. Okay, I changed that ending, but it is time to talk about curriculum because I love it. I love it so much. And I had a few people ask me about IXL and what are my thoughts about it? So let's take a little bit of a deep dive in and check out and see if it is right for you. Hi, and welcome to Learning Life, and thank you so much for joining me today as I get to do something that I love, which is a curriculum review. So many options out there. I feel like, we could be doing this for millennia, right? Probably not. But if you have come here today because you have wanted to know more about IXL, I welcome you. And, if you're just looking at what is around there with curriculum, check out some of my other videos I have done. I really don't know how many I have done now. I just love doing it and keep bringing it. This is my heart to really help people to know what's out there and whether or not it could be for them. And so for everyone who has been watching, I thank you so much for your likes, your subscribes, and just really being part of this learning life. Now, IXL, it is a fee-based online curriculum, platform out there that can be used by schools, and it is used by schools or as homeschoolers. And currently, it is offering math, language arts, social studies, science, and Spanish. And really, I would say that its strength is math. Now, from their website, they do like to say IXL accelerates your child's progress, or you can enrich your homeschool experience with IXL. So how does it support homeschooling? They say you can find content to match nearly any lesson. You've got access to personalized adaptive learning, which is always a good thing. You get to see your child's knowledge levels, and you can use IXL in any setting because one key feature of it is its flexibility. You can do it on your computer, but there's also apps, so you could do it on your tablet or on your phone. Progress is saved across, so it really doesn't matter what tech you're using. Children can pick up where they left off. But is it a full curriculum? And that seems to be a key question. I've seen it around and people have asked, could I just use IXL as a complete thing? Now, does it hail as such? On some aspects, yes. But really, in looking at it, taking that dive and even talking to a number of parents and students, it really seems to be best as a practice or reinforcement tool. Pros of IXL. So it does have a number of subjects, and it covers all the grade levels from pre-K to 12th grade in those core subjects, and you can also add Spanish. And I'm sure that they will continue to adapt and add things. Now, based on how your children are doing, it is actually going to adapt the difficulty of the questions that it asks. This is always a good thing, and this is actually something that you want if you are looking at your children sort of developing these skills and leveling up in them. Maybe your child is struggling in one specific area, needs help. Well, IXL will allow you to target specific skills. And I find that this is good. And it is actually very easy to do. You just go back to the skill that you want to target, and you can do it again, and you can do it again. Okay, this is great. Sometimes with online options, this is just not really something that's possible, and you've got to maybe tweak the system to get in there, not with IXL. Now, the games and interactive exercises, they're useful, especially children who don't like paper and pencil and want to do it online. This is great. I love that we have all of these options for our kids. Now, the reports that it provides, they are detailed, and they will show you where your children are at. So I do actually find that their reports are a good assessment tool. I love a good assessment tool to help, hey, what are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? Because I know that those are things that I want to identify. And I think that can really just help as well. Okay, so I'm seeing some holes here. We actually, look at that. I can target that specific skill and I can go back and do it. Now for pre-K kinder first grade levels, they do have this little speaker button that you can press and it will read the question and the answer choices to your children who are not reading. So if you're wanting to use it but not wanting to be there reading out these options for our kids who aren't reading, we do have that. And so, hey, that's a great thing. And as it said, a key feature, variety of tech that you can use, computer, tablet, or phone. Very helpful if you're traveling, very helpful if you're out and about and you want to be able to do things. cons of IXL. I really think that it is more a focus on skill practice rather than in-depth explanations. Like, I found that it doesn't really explain like why your child got a question wrong. So like, it's wrong. And like, here's a few little things, but not really like why or where they went wrong. And this can be frustrating for children, like especially if they're trying to keep their score up, because like, hey, I get these points, I get these awards, I want to be able to keep it up. But if they're not understanding the why and they keep getting it wrong, that just is really frustrating. I did find like that the format can get repetitive. And like, if I get bored, children are going to get bored. Right now, it really is only covering like those core subjects. I'm sure we'll add more, but for right now, if you wanted a full complete curriculum, it's not got everything that you want. And I did find like the voice for reading out like, the questions and answer choices, like it's that little bit robotic. And sometimes it can be hard to understand. And that's especially like for our younger children because it's not that fluency. It's a bit like a chop and change like with it. But it does what it needs to do, which can be a great thing so that you're not reading it. Now, I did speak with a number of students and they don't like it. I've worked with several children, over the years, and IXL has definitely like improved over the years. But, first of all, like with the things, they don't like it. They find that maybe, especially the older ones, it can be frustrating to meet expectations. But do we just sort of like take it on the word of students? No, we check it out for ourselves. But if a number of students aren't enjoying it, to me, that's actually a con. Cost. The individual subjects of math or language arts, so you can either pick just math or language arts, it's $9.95 a month. Combine them, it's $15.95 a month. And then if you want to have the 4 core subjects of math, language arts, science, and social studies, it's going to be $19.95 a month. And this is for one child. Now, you don't have to pay that for each child. Additional children after the first is $4 a month each. And then you can add Spanish for $5 a month. If you decide this is what we're going to do for the year, paying for the year will save you 33%. It's always good to be able to save. They do have a 30-day risk-free guarantee. Like, these things are always nice. So there's no free trial as such, but you can get your money back within the first month if you're not happy with it. And so when we have all of those things, I'm always like, take that time, like to have a look at it and to really see whether this is going to truly work for you. Other thoughts and my opinions. Look, I think it is a great resource for skill practice and reinforcement. But I don't think that it's really sufficient as a complete curriculum. I don't think it's something that you could say, yes, my child can just do it and gets to the end and we've learned everything. To me, I really didn't feel like it provided the in-depth instruction like that our kids need, especially as they're learning something new or explanations. But like the practice opportunities, like they are really good. And when we have that and we've got that additional reinforcement, I think it would be a great supplement. And when you're all online, to me, there's limited hands-on learning. There's something to say about like pencil and paper or maybe using manipulatives. You're not going to get that online. Now, the assessment tool is very good. You use it. I think you could really use it as like a great assessment tool. You're really wondering where your children are at. You could pay for a month to do it and to use those tools and just be like, okay, where it is, get a report and go, oh, you know what, that was worthwhile, me like paying that to be able to get and just see, because the reports are good to help you find those strengths and weaknesses. So IXL, it's really like a supplement to traditional teaching. It's not a standalone curriculum yet. I think they're growing and they're developing, and this could change. But as of now, it's not. It's a great supplement. You really do have to consider your child's learning style and needs, so maybe it's not even the right supplement for you, because not all students learn best through just practice alone. Some might need more hands-on learning, more visual learning, more in-depth instruction again. So you really do need to use it in conjunction with another curriculum to provide that well-rounded education. So, whether or not you're using Good and Beautiful or Christian Light or whatever you're using, you could then use IXL as that additional supplement to really help your children to level up and to really make sure that they're fully understanding. But for me, It's not something that I would use and say, oh, this is my curriculum. I think that there's too many holes like right now. But I do think it would be great. Like if my girls are really struggling in something, especially math, I really do like the math component of it the most. Then I would actually say, yes, we could use that for a while to really just help with those skills and really target them. Now, of course, you can check out IXL for yourself, like at their website. Have a look at the lessons, have a look at that's all run through and see some of those sample questions and be like, okay, would this work for us? Always go deep, like yourself, Yes, I've given you some pros and cons on it, but if you are really looking at something like to be an online full curriculum for you, I'm really not sure that this would be like your right choice. There are other ones like Mia Academy, there's K-12, there's a number of great online options and you can check them out. And hey, I've done some reviews on those, so check them out. Well, thank you so much for watching today and being part of this learning life. And I hope this helps you to see whether or not IXL will be something that you could use like in your homeschooling. This is something that you could use even if you're not homeschooling and you want your children to get like some extra support and practice. If you've got any questions, shoot them down below. I would love to answer them. And, you can check out like this information on my website, LearningThis.Life, where I will have like this review, my other curriculum reviews, and some other great resources and tools for you. Look, you can also help like bring these videos out, and you can do that by becoming a champion. So check that out at patreon.com or again at my website, LearningThis.Life.